Hello, everyone. This is Chala Dinkoy, CEO and founder of the Repositioning Expert. Welcome to another Tuesday Tea Time with Chala. It is the last one before Christmas. Oh my goodness, I am so excited, just as excited as you are. And last week you saw my pitiful tree that Logan refused to put ornaments on, but it's okay. At least it's up. I live across from one of the biggest malls in Toronto, the shopping centers in Toronto. It's like a luxury mall. And I have trouble getting into my own underground parking in my condo because it's across the street. It's just people have gone nuts. People have gone nuts with parties. People have gone nuts with gifting and shopping. I don't know where this recession is that everyone's talking about, but I'm going to be talking about it today, actually. It has not affected my business. My business grew 15%, so double digits in the last year. I'm super fortunate. I have so much to be thankful for. I'll be doing what am I thankful for list as I do every year during the New Year's, and so many changes and so many more to come. And I'm looking forward to that. So let me take a sip of my, of course, it's protein. I'm going to do Tuesday protein time with Chala. Okay, so what are we talking about? It wasn't long ago that I didn't know what ESG meant. And today's topic is to dump or not to dump ESG in a recession. And it's everything to do with the environment and social causes, and all the work that I do is around helping diverse businesses. So that's an ESG mandate, for example, is to have for a company to have their social governance, which part of which is diversity. But let me take you back to like 15 years ago when I actually worked for these large corporations, and we're in the 90s, when we used to do consumer research. When I first started working for Pepsi, and we did consumer research, and anytime any consumer told us that they would pay more for an environmentally friendly or social cause supporting product, and the purchase intent was really high, it never ever actually carried through in the marketplace, where we priced it because there were less SKUs obviously than the main brand SKUs. Because it was a special SKU, it would always cost more, and nobody was ever willing to pay more for any of the fast moving consumer goods that I ever worked on, just for ESG mandates. So because of good feelings. So things have shifted a lot. Great. But what's going to happen when the almighty price is driving everything, because it's so high? It's such a recession, and things cost more, and so they're going to be way more interested in how much they can afford, what their basket is, and so on. Now, I'm talking for the consumer world, business to business, business to consumer. But is this also going to affect the business to business market? Where are they going to be interested in diverse businesses and supporting them? Are they going to be interested in environmental mandates and continuing them on? So we looked at the research. Of course, I looked at the research, and now historically, ESG mandates are the first things to get cut. So that's why the topic is, are companies going to dump, or should you dump, or continue with your ESG mandate in a recession when all you're trying to do is survive, really? But what we see from the research is what's called the George Floyd effect on CEOs, is that almost double the number in a year. So 37% last year said that social governance, ESG, was linked to profits. This year, it's 70% of CEOs who agree. So there is it's not just a small change, it's a sea change of people. And I can attest to this myself, because I've been working in the diversity circles for the last 10 years. And this year alone, I've had 4 the leaders in their markets in the world talk to me about training their actual diverse suppliers. So, I mean, that all tells me there's a huge increase in interest despite the recession on ESG mandates. What's concerning is this same research has said that almost 60% of CEOs said that they're willing to pause or reconsider the budgets for their ESG plans. And I'm here to tell you why you shouldn't do that. Okay. And why is this your chance to shine? If that's in fact true, why you should be the one not to do that so that this can be ESG could be your differentiator. And here's why. Number one is to keep and attract talent. You hear about the quiet resignation, the quiet quitting, the great resignation, the quiet quitting. How you see how I put those two together, and it's impossible to find new people. It's so hard to retain, attract, all those things. So it's all about the new talent. And guess what? 7 out of 10 said they care. They care about your ESG mandates. They care about the company that they work for and that the company cares for that. So that's one way that in this, in this market, you can stand out for people to choose to stay with your company and to choose to work with you if you are not one of the 60% of CEOs who are going to dump ESG mandates. Let me take another sip. I had a very vigorous dental cleaning yesterday, and I think something happened to my tongue along the way. So it's just a little uncomfortable in there. You don't want to know. All right. So the next reason why you should use ESG mandates to stand out when most people are saying that they're going to either lower their spending or reduce, the spotlight on ESG is consumer love. Because despite what people used to say and do in the 90s, today 73% of consumers say that they need ESG mandates to be attached to that brand, to support that brand. They actually want to work with companies, to buy from companies that support these, environmental and social governance programs. And then when everybody's focused on price, this will allow you to be focused on a complete differentiator. Number 3 of why you should not dump but continue ESG mandates is reputation. And what does reputation do? Reputation is money, because investors only want companies to invest in companies that are safe, that are trustworthy, that have a good reputation. So in an economic growth, when there's been a recession and people are struggling, the basic needs like the social and economic growth of the market is going to be needed. And when you put into place programs around ESG, then you become attractive to investors because you're one of the few that are still doing it. If based on the research where most CEOs are going to be dumping these programs. So reputation for investors is another reason why you should not dump your ESG. Another one is there's a bigger need in the recession for ESG because there's a bigger opportunity to step up, as I said, when most people are, in need of the more basics, like the shelter, the food, the education. These social governance programs are going to come into play a lot more. They're going to come into play a lot more than they would in a time of, of abundance, of a time of where things are growing like gangbusters and everybody's profiting and everybody's doing really well. So there's a bigger opportunity to step up and there's a bigger opportunity to shine. And that would be your biggest differentiator. And one last point is that top companies invest, there's a statistic that top companies only invest 1% of their after-tax income, like profits, in ESG. However, the top quarter, they call it the top quartile of companies, invest 2.3% of their revenue, of their profits, of their after-tax profits. So what that tells you is that there's a higher correlation of the ratio between the growth and the profitability of the company with the amount that they invest in ESG. So, coincidence? Is it the chicken or the egg? Which came first? Is it because they're doing all these things that they have goodwill with investors, they have goodwill with consumers, they have goodwill with internal, and they're attractive to new recruits, and there's less turnover? It's just win, win, win. Plus, they're supporting the community. Plus, they have a differentiator that in the time of strife that most people are cutting back on. So these are some of the things that are available to you if you do not dump ESG mandates during the recession. And I highly recommend it, you guys. So I hope this is a good note to end the the season, the year. In fact, I mean, I am working the last week of the year, and we'll see if we pull out another Tuesday tea time before that. But have a happy holiday, you guys. I am so blessed to do this. I'm so blessed that I have this community where I get to teach and help and share my passion. And I hope you guys make it a good one. I'm going to make it a good one too. Have a good one. Bye.